Counter Punch Boxing Talk. We are back with another one. What's going on out there, YouTube? Okay, today, I want to do kind of a triple header, right? I want to kind of go over three fights in one. This weekend, Showtime has a really good card on a great lineup, and really so does HBO. Like I mentioned in another video, we have a great weekend of boxing. It's like Christmas, literally. I kind of think it is like, Christmas to the boxing fans. Thank you HBO, thank you Showtime. Uh, but And look, real quick, I want to mention, right now we're doing videos that kind of just, touch on the news out there, and we're going over multiple things. I don't have time to edit all of these videos and, give you the fancy, thumbnails and pictures and everything. So right now, the way we're making the videos is we're trying to build up the channel with volume and get get a lot of videos out there. Okay, now in the future, we will roll it over to, your traditional videos where you have like a full screen picture that you're looking at, that kind of thing, maybe a little music in the background. We'll fancy it up a little bit. But to me, really, a good YouTube channel is about content, knowledge, integrity, all kinds of things. To me, the visual part, it is important, but the video that we're putting out today, or the one like today, the one you're watching now, to me, really, it's kind of, do you really want to watch, like, three different videos about three different fights? And so we try to kind of condense it down to one video and give it to you quick. That's what I would prefer. So, and a lot of channels, really, they get kind of greedy. They'll want to make a video about all three fights, right? And all three are title fights, important fights out there. But I'd rather condense it down and just give it to you in one video. So, all right, kicking it off, Anthony Joshua versus Eric Molina. And I'm going to try to keep it short, guys. Like I said, I want to keep my videos at 10 minutes or shorter, but we will do breakdowns, that are much longer, 20 minutes, half an hour. And then we have the end of year video coming out where it's kind of a recap of the year. And that will probably be like an hour long. Okay, but Anthony Joshua, Eric Molina, of course, the headliner of the Showtime fight over the weekend. Now, okay, 17 and Anthony Joshua, 17-0, 82-inch reach. This guy has a 100% knockout ratio, which is incredible. I don't remember. I don't know. Well, no, I take that back. Deontay Wilder was like 32, I think 32-0. With a 100% knockout ratio. I'm trying to think of like recent heavyweights that had that high of a knockout ratio, with nearly 20 fights. But yeah, Deontay Wilder, remember, he had like 32 knockouts within 4 rounds, meaning he knocked out every opponent, in or before round 4 32 times. Now, granted, yeah, we know he was like fighting cab drivers and not very worthy opponents. But anyway, enough of that. So, okay, he's up against Eric Molina. Now, Eric Molina, 25-3-0. Eric Molina, the smaller man, he's 6'4", 70% knockout ratio. He lost to Deontay Wilder in 2015 and Chris Arreola in 2012. Now, Deontay Wilder, remember, he said, yeah, I needed a tough fight. I needed a tough opponent, a challenge, a test, and Eric Molina gave it to me. He's a tough, rugged dude. But in this situation, he's getting knocked out. So my prediction is, he's going to lose by knockout. Anthony Joshua, he's got a size advantage, a reach advantage, more power. He's a better boxer, for a heavyweight. He's lighter on his feet. He can get around the ring better. Footwork, head movement, everything, I think, is in the favor of Anthony Joshua. So yeah, I've got Anthony Joshua winning by knockout. mid-round. I'm thinking mid-round because Eric Molina is a tough guy. And, I don't know if I would call it a step-up fight for Anthony Joshua, meaning I don't know, I mean, it's not a step down. It's not a cherry pick. It's not a keep busy fight. I think it's a challenge. It's a challenging fight, but I'm not going to call it, a step up. A step up would be Deontay Wilder. Even Tyson Fury, if Tyson Fury was, active right now. But so yeah, I've got Anthony Joshua winning. Okay, now we have at light middleweight for the and oh, by the way, the heavyweight, they're all three fights are for a title belt, a world title. The heavyweight's IBF belt, and then going over to light middleweight, the 154-pound IBF title, Jamar Charlo against Julian Williams. Now, Julian Williams, he's a #1 contender. He hasn't lost a round, not even a round. Let me get to him here and show you guys a picture. Okay, here we go. Not even around since his 12th fight, so he's, like I said, right now, I believe he is 22-0. I want to say, you might want to check me on that. I don't have notes here, so I believe he's right, like 22-0, but he hasn't even lost a round, since his 12th professional fight. #1 contender, and look, this is the way boxing should be. You have the #1 contender, he worked his way up, he earned a title shot against Charlo. Now, Charlo, I mean, powerful, fast, intelligent. I mean, he's gifted. He's kind of a throwback fighter. And actually, these guys, I've mentioned before, if you watched other videos I put out there, the Charlo twins, they train right around the corner from where I live. And I mean, I've watched these guys train with my own 2 eyes, and I'm telling you, they are a unique talent. And they train like no other. I mean, these guys are there every day training with Ronnie Shields. I mean, the famous trainer Ronnie Shields. They're, like I said, I mean, they have completely devoted their life to boxing, and right now, I mean, in that division, I don't see anyone beating Jamar Charlo. And of course, you have Irizlandi Lara there, but they vowed they will never fight. The brother Jamar and Jamel, they'll never fight each other, and Irizlandi Lara will never fight. So it's kind of a unique situation. You have two brothers and Irizlandi Lara, like a brother. You have like 3 guys that are at the top of their division, but they won't fight each other. And I've talked to both of them. I've even talked to Irizlandi Lara. It's kind of hard because his English is a little rough, but they have personally told me that they will not fight each other. So but I look for Jamal Charlo, the bigger twin. I mean, I think he's a little bit bigger. I look for him to move up. I'm a twin myself, and I'm the bigger twin. So, twins aren't always the same size. My sibling, I'm the bigger one. So I look for him to move up, maybe to middleweight, because really in that division right now, the only real threat would be Julian Williams, and I think he's going to beat Julian Williams. So my prediction for that fight, I think it's going to be a hard-fought decision. Or, maybe a TKO, a very late round TKO. He might walk him down, meaning Charlo might walk Williams down in the later round and maybe get a technical knockout. Maybe not a spectacular knockout, but nonetheless a technical. That's what I think. A TKO in the late round, or a very, very hard-fought decision. Both guys, have a ton of respect for each other. And that picture you're looking at right there, Charlo beat Austin Trout in his last fight. Okay, and that was kind of a step up fight for Charlo, and he looked good in that fight. Beat Austin Trout. Okay, and that was in 2016. Yeah, actually, you know what? Yeah, that was not that long ago. And then he's got other guys on his resume, not real big names. Cornelius Bundage, Willie Campfort, people like that. Probably Cornelius Bundage would be the biggest name. Maybe Campfort, Willie Campfort. But this is definitely a step up for Charlo. fighting Williams right there. Charlo, he is the bigger guy. Like I said, he's 24-0, 75% knockout ratio. And if I remember right, man, I want to say Williams is like 22-0. I'm pretty sure I'm right on that. Okay, so that's number 2. Now the third title fight. Here, let me get to the picture here. Yeah, you got Abner Mars and Jesus Cuellar. Okay, now remember Abner Mars trained by Robert Garcia. The trainer of Brandon Rios. Guys like that. We all know who Robert Garcia is, right? You don't need me to tell you. Okay, Abner Mars trained by Freddie Roach. Okay, originally the fight was going to go down on the Thurman Porter undercard. Now, I don't know if you guys remember, we had like 4 or maybe 5 fights that were canceled, and that was one of them. Remember, it's like every fight, and even Keith Thurman. Remember, Keith Thurman got in the car wreck, and they had to move the Sean Porter fight, the Keith Thurman Sean Porter fight. They had to move it. These guys were on the undercard. Now, both guys have been inactive for over a year. Now, Abner Mares, he's been inactive longer, since like August, I believe, of 2015. And Jesus Cuellar has been absent since like December. So one guy, nearly a year, Cuellar, and then Abner Mares, he's been absent for like a year and a half. I mean, damn near a year and a half. He's like a month or two shy of a year and a half ring absence. So, Abner Mares, 29-2-1, 5-4, 47% knockout ratio. Now, this is for a version of a featherweight title, so it is a title fight. Coming off a loss against Leo Santa Cruz. Now, that was a hell of a fight. That Leo Santa Cruz fight was an absolute war. Leo Santa Cruz winning majority decision. Let's see, Abner Mares lost to Gonzalez in 2013. Yeah, I mean, it's going to be a good fight. You got, now going over to the other side in the blue corner, Jesus Cuellar, 28-1-0, lost to in 2011 to oh god, what's his name? Oscar Escando, I can't remember, something like that. But I know he, like I said, he's got that one loss. But it was in 2011, and I think he lost by TKO, if I remember. I could be wrong, but yeah, like I said, one loss over there to Jesus Cuellar, 2 losses to Abner Mares, whatever. Yeah, I mean, okay, for this fight, guys, man, it's tough because, when you have a guy, or 2 guys, actually, that haven't been in the ring in a year and a half, it's difficult to decide. I have an article here. I wasn't even going to bring it up. Oh, right there. Look at that knockout ratio. Anthony Joshua. 100% knockout ratio. And not that it's uncommon for a heavyweight coming up to have 100% knockout ratio, but he has fought tough guys. Like, again, not like a Deontay Wilder, where he was like literally fighting cab drivers. I mean, you can go look up his past opponents, and he was like literally fighting cab drivers. Okay, yeah. Here, let me just read a couple of real quick paragraphs, and then we'll shut it down. 29 has not fought in a year. Now they're talking about Cuellar here. In 2015, the Argentina fighter scored a TKO win against Vic Darchinyan in June, and scored a decision win against Jonathan Cuando in December. Mares, 31, of Mexico, is a 3-division champion, but has not been the same since losing by first-round KO to Johnny Gonzalez in August of 2013. Since then, Mares has scored 3 decision wins, but lost to Leo Santa Cruz in 2015. So what they're trying to tell you here is back in 2013, he was knocked out in round 1 by Johnny Gonzalez. Now, since 2013, he hasn't been the same. But I don't know if I agree. He hasn't been the same, but I mean, that fight was a war, man. It was a battle. I think it might have been fight of the year, even Leo Santa Cruz and Abner Mares. I mean, it was a hell of a fight. I went back and watched it today. I mean, if you guys want to see a good fight, go watch that one. So, but yeah, I guess you could, that'd be a fair thing to say, that he hasn't been the same since 2013, but still a hell of a fighter. On Saturday, December 10th, 2016, Jesus Cuellar, 28-1 and 21 KOs, will defend a version of the WBO featherweight title in a 12-round fight against former three-division champion Abner Morris, 29-2, 120, or 15 KOs. And they're fighting LA, California. Now, here's where what I was telling you earlier. The fight was supposed to be taking place on the undercard of Keith Thurman Sean Porter fight at the Barclays Center, Brooklyn, New York. There wasn't a great deal of hype surrounding the fight, as most of the attention was being spent on the main event between Thurman and Porter. It's perhaps for the best Mars won't be facing the 29-year-old Cuellar next, because that would have been a very tough fight for Mars trying to win, and I'm not sure who would have. Or I'm not sure, basically they're saying who would have won. Now, if you remember the reason they didn't take the fight, he couldn't pass an eye test. I mean, it was crazy. Like, I mean, I've heard of that before, but apparently he had an injured eye. And, I'm thinking, was he not prepared? And did they use like the eye thing as an excuse? In a big disappointment, the scheduled June 25th fight matching former three-division world champion Abner Morris, 29-2, 115 KOs, and WBA former featherweight champion Jesus Cuellar, 28-1, 21 KOs, has been canceled due to 30-year-old Morris having a medical issue that will keep him from taking the fight in New York, according to Dan Raphael. Oh, well, anyway, I don't have the rest of it. Shit. But it goes on to say, yeah, there it is right there. You can barely see it. Commission eye exam. See that he right here. According to Dan Raphael, Morris failed 2 New York State eye exams, Athletic Commission eye exams. So yeah, I mean, they take that shit serious. I mean, if you can't pass your medical, you're not fighting. So I mean, both guys have been kind of plagued by injury and ring rust and you name it. So as far as like who's gonna win, man, I would probably go with Jesus Cuellar. I mean, if I had to pick, only because I think with he's been trained by Freddie Roach in the past, and he's a bigger guy. He had a fight, recently. Well, like I said, within a year, it's been a year and a half for Abner Mars. I mean, it's a hard fight to call. It really is. I mean, this is like a pick'em fight, but so I'm gonna break it down. So I got Anthony Joshua winning by knockout. Probably mid-round. I'm thinking about mid-round because Eric Molina, tough guy, veteran in the ring. He knows how to survive. I mean, he knows how to, how to kind of get out one more round. I mean, he knows like one more round. So I think, he'll be able to survive, maybe about to the midway point. And then going over to Charlo and Julian Williams, I've got Charlo winning, like I said, a hard-fought unanimous decision or a possible late-round TKO. And then when you have the Abner Morris fight and the Jesus Cuellar, I don't know. I don't know. I'm gonna go ahead and pick Cuellar because man, to me, Abner Morris, he doesn't look right, and he's young, not a lot of fights, but he's had a ton of battles already. I mean, even in his earlier career, a lot of ring battles. Anyway, leave your comment below. Great fights on over the weekend. Like I said, Showtime, great card. HBO, Terrence Crawford, John Molina Jr., another great lineup. We just have a ton to talk about. And yeah, please like, share, subscribe. Counterpunch Boxing. We are out.